fucking DeBarge family, that should die under the jail. All being protected by Clive Davis. I wonder why.
What 50 Cent left out of the Diddy documentary has been disclosed by Jaguar Wright. Additionally, her description is far harsher than anything that Netflix has shown. She said the deletion was more than a simple edit. She claims that the actual story was purposefully condensed, identities were eliminated, and...
Was there anything at all that you were watching this documentary that was new information to you?
New?
Yes.
No.
From the history of Puff, him coming up, anything new?
No. There was nothing new for me. There was nothing new for me. 50 isn't just as bad as Diddy. 50 actually has a heart. He's a lovable thug. You know? Somebody should ask Soulja Boy how loving he is. He's very loving. All that time they spent together and the way he believed in him. Oh my God. They were almost inseparable. Truth is, Curtis is a swish. Been a swish for many years. Everyone knows it. The reason why I haven't got behind Curtis Jackson is because the only reason he wants them out of the way is so he can take over.
You most likely clicked on this video after hearing that Jaguar Wright was going all out on 50 Cent's Diddy biopic. To be honest, it makes sense that you would be curious. Jaguar is discussing what never made it to the screen at all, while everyone else is concentrating on what made it onto Diddy, The Reckoning on Netflix. She claims that because they were uninteresting or weak, the most startling passages were left in place. They were too explosive and were cut. This information could lead to important inquiries regarding influential people. You will learn about some significant points that Jaguar claims were entirely omitted in this video. She begins by talking about Clive Davis's conspicuous absence from the documentary and the seeming lack of interest in discussing him. We'll then examine what Jaguar claims was absent from the coverage of the Lil Rod lawsuit, including the reason Stevie J was never brought up. Lastly, she makes startling claims regarding Diddy's involvement in spiritual warfare and the Illuminati that go well beyond the music business. Additionally, Jaguar has some fascinating views about why...
And now they got an even bigger one named Curtis Jackson. They should check the EPA report since he's been there and the toxic waste he's been allowing to be dumped around the property of Millennium Studios for cheap cash.
Clive Davis is one of the most important questions Jaguar Wright consistently poses. She notes that 51% of Bad Boy records belong to this man. Thus, he was in charge. However, he hardly appears at all in a 4-part documentary about accountability. Jaguar claims that his screen time is only about 30 seconds. That doesn't make sense to her, unless he was being shielded. Perhaps he would like to be unrelated to...
I'm recently walking into somewhere and they asked him about Diddy and he said who? Is that old age or does he not, they're not in the same world? Or they're in the same world but they're not cohorts?
He's definitely been his ex.
Oh, okay.
I would call that the same world.
Okay. Pretty
And
intertwined.
for him to say Diddy who is his way of saying, I'm not talking about Sean anymore. Maybe he's been playing cozy with the other Sean. Maybe he just got him another Sean.
Jaguar didn't hesitate when asked who the worst celebrity she had ever encountered was. Clive Davis, she said. She characterized him as a very powerful individual with a sinister presence in the music business. She even went so far as to say that he was linked to other terrible...
Bitch who would sign to Clive Davis after we all know what he did to Whitney Houston? And praise, Clive is my everything. Clive is my everything. I'd be nothing without him. You're fucking right. You're still nothing, even with him. Like, why does nobody want to be honest about this? Why is everybody so hot? Why do we want to believe? Yeah, she sacrificed her family, and I ain't saying allegedly. I'm going to go talk to that. I've always wanted to talk to him.
Although no one is claiming that these assertions are true, they nonetheless pose a significant query. Why does such a powerful person hardly ever show up in a documentary that purports to provide the whole story? Jaguar says the explanation is straightforward. Discussing Clive Davis entails discussing the evil.
Who's the worst celebrity like that you've been around is like the most full of sin? I know no sin is greater, but like just was like, damn, this
Clive Davis. Devil incarnate. Clive Davis. He Janis Joplin. He blackmailed Betty Wright so she wouldn't tell anybody that he Janis Joplin. He killed Whitney Houston.
Jaguar also mentions links and experiences that she claims people are reluctant to discuss. She wonders why some influential people were present at significant junctures in the industry, yet were never questioned or even addressed. These silences don't seem random to her. She thinks they're intentional.
Clive is a whole freak.
You think Clive put him on to all?
I know. Clive, that's what he do. Queen Clive. Long may she reign in hell.
When 50 Cent...
Don't nobody want to talk about why R. Kelly's bus was parked in Clive Davis's driveway, why his tour bus was parked in Clive Davis's driveway at the house where the shit went down between Chris and Rihanna. Don't nobody want to talk about why it was filled with video girls who were being trafficked. And he was never questioned by Me Too. Why ain't nobody from Me Too saying anything? They had so much to say about Harvey Weinstein, who's now all his charges is being dropped. So much for their investigation. Guess it was a little paper thing.
She then discusses Gondil, characterizing him as a mediator who prevented tensions during the bad boy era from getting out of hand. Jaguar claims that his presence prevented numerous situations from getting significantly worse. She claims that everything changed when he was gone. She feels that unbridled power takes over in the absence of that balance.
A million things I could tell you. There were a lot of fights at those old rap shows. What I can say was, he was the peacemaker. Like, I'll be sure and Pete Rock, they're best friends, yo.
Right.
They went to high school together. They've been best friends since 10th grade. People change a lot when money and circumstances come into the way. How a person acted in the 10th grade is going to be very different than how they act with $500 million and an axe to grind. You know what I mean? Like, it's a different person.
Additionally, Jaguar Wright leaked video of Diddy and Lil Rod hanging out together during an odd and perplexing time. When combined with audio messages that seemed excessively intimate and unsuitable for two adult males, she said the situation was incredibly unnerving.
Speaking of God, did you see him with Lil Rod working out?
Oh man, that was...
While they were on the come down from all of the pharmaceuticals and all of the weirdo behavior and all of the alcohol, watching TD Jakes.
Yeah.
That didn't look weird.
It's very weird. The voice memos alone. Is out there to take, everyone's girl, it seems like. If you got her, I want her.
Jaguar claims the documentary let her down when the focus switches to Kim Porter. Kim didn't have a voice or a tale of her own. Jar observes that someone else spoke in her place, which she felt was odd and unjust given how significant Kim was to Diddy's life.
They didn't portray her at all.
Yeah, they didn't.
That's the thing. They didn't. And he wouldn't even give her $5K to help her get her kids back?
Jor then poses yet another significant query. Why were certain individuals never mentioned at all? She specifically criticizes Stevie J, claiming that his absence is incomprehensible. Jaguar claims that Stevie J was one of Diddy's closest producers for years and resided in the same home where a lot of this alleged activities took place.
Nobody's talking about who her husband is and who her husband is to Diddy. He's one of Diddy's #1 minions.
Oh yeah, no, that's news.
He's a loyalist. He is a Diddy doo-wop bop. Kalina's also bisexual, so I'm finding it kind of interesting that she didn't see anything, she wasn't around anything, she didn't know about anything, and this is not me putting anything crazy on her. This is exactly what she said when she was on Love and Hip Hop Atlanta with Stevie J, who was also not mentioned at all during this documentary. Because Stevie J was living at the Star Island house. Tell me something, how do you have all of that stuff about Little Rod and there's no Stevie J?
Jaguar claims that Diddy isn't the mastermind that many believe him to be. She thinks he's a pawn. Diddy is a pawn.
Interesting, because there was some of the footage that Little Rod has shared with this documentary that he shared with nobody else that he did an interview with, and none of that made it into the trial. There's images of him with French Montana and the Diddler on the yacht.
Yeah.
But nothing of Stevie J. Surgically removed. Isn't that wild?
Yeah. Yeah. See Stevie J not around?
Not at all. Not at all. One of Diddy's main producers throughout the years. And I'm not sure. I haven't bothered to check because I never really had any need or want to care to pay attention to the Love album. Stevie J don't have no credit on that project at all. Heard some of the girls that, hooked up with Diddy throughout the years, and when they would come to his house and they would walk in the door and he would ask them, so how do you feel? You made it. By just being around him. But then again, when you listen to some of the way that he was referring to himself, like talking about he can only compare himself to the Son of God and it's been so long. So I forgot how to get to my tone and I've been rapping so long and listening to myself that I forgot how to be myself. And it's like watching, I don't want y'all sitting here looking like watching Jesus walk on water, learning how to walk on water. Like,
yeah, no. Even the fact that he told everyone, y'all are rock stars, y'all are hot. I'm the level of hot. So he's saying, don't ever think you're bigger than me when I'm in the room. I'm like, just that thought process is.
No, just not even that. He was like, y'all hot and I'm lukewarm. Y'all not don't think I'm gonna sit here and let y'all be hot while I'm lukewarm. That's what he said. So basically what he was saying is y'all not doing enough to turn me up. Don't think that I'm gonna let y'all look good and y'all don't work harder at making me look good. But he's referring to himself as God? As the Son of God? Like, I don't know what people want to believe.
The most damaging aspect of all these accusations is not that Jaguar Wright made them, but rather that Mark Curry, one of Diddy's closest former pals,
They did what they needed to do in this documentary. The whole objective of this documentary was to blame it all on Diddy. The devil made me do it, blame it all on Diddy, and the rest of the industry is nothing like this. Like when Curtis Jackson sat there in his interview with Robin and sat there and said, I did this because I don't want people thinking that the hip hop community is okay with this kind of behavior. I don't want them thinking that, we're just going to be silent while all of this is going on. Like, we're okay with this kind of behavior. And my thing is huh? So now you speaking for all of hip hop, and all of hip hop is uncomfortable with this. You want to know the one thing that I'm finding also very interesting that nobody's paying attention to? the presence of that pyramid. You know, that the same thing that the Rock Nation likes to put up, the same hand symbol that you know, the sororities and the fraternities like to use. I'm not going to emulate it because you know exactly what it looks like.
Yep.
The pyramid sign that Diddy was wearing that around his neck. You want to know what I found funny? That there were a bunch of YouTubers that were at that courthouse that were wearing that same, it was a much smaller version, but that same symbol.
Yeah.
I think, and that's the part of this story that makes it possible for people, I think, to graze over the reality of all that's going on. You know, if you just look at it from the salacious celebrity stuff, from pop culture media, so-called this new media, and I'm really not liking that term, this new media, because what it really sounds like is the name of a gang. Like the media is media. Because I'm looking at the people that are falling under it, and they're all the same people that are involved with, you know, creating these propaganda campaigns. You know, but that's exactly what Diddy was saying at the beginning of the documentary. We need somebody that is proficient, you know, or fluent in being able to spin propaganda and narratives.
That was the turning point. Kim attempted to move on with her life after deciding she was done. Even yet, she was unable to
only look at it from the face value aspect of it. You know, that's one thing. But if you look to the spiritual side of it, it's completely different. It unveils a much deeper agenda, you know, because for those who, you know, it's funny, people like to talk about God and they like to throw God's name around and they like to talk about their religious and they like to talk about this and they like to talk about that, but then they don't want to acknowledge the spiritual warfare aspect of all of this that's involved. Because if you're only looking at this as freaky behavior and this, that, and the other, then that's perfectly fine. But if you take it and you flip it on the other side and you look at it as spiritual warfare, it casts a much bigger net and a much bigger light on everything. You can't just put it all on Diddy. You can't.
That nearly every day. Yes, exactly. I have to keep that stuff right. I have to keep it. After that, you examine pneumonia and its associated complications, including its underlying causes. Wow, this has to be a little bit deeper, you think?
Do you think he had anything to do with Kim Porter passing?
I tell you this, on the 16th, it's in my new book. You remember when they say Cassie said that her friend got dangled over a balcony? Mm-hmm. It was on the 16th. And on the 18th, Kim Porter passed. 2 days, something like that. What could have been going on in that house in Clovis or on Wilshire at Cassie's little condo would make him want to dangle, or even let it be said that he did dangle, because we don't, you know, it's allegedly said that he dangled. So I'm like, damn, so dangled over the balcony, that means it had to have been an argument about something. Now, Cassie said in the interview, I pay attention to the male escort. I'll unalive you. I said, wow, she's a killer. Then she said that her and Kim didn't get along. Kim knew that she didn't like her and she didn't like Kim. It was a real jealous thing. You know what I'm saying? Because see, Puff, when Kim moved to Los Angeles, Puff moved behind her, right? Chasing her back, put her in a house. He bought a house, put her in it. And then now the original beef was because he had her pregnant and had somebody else pregnant. Sarah was pregnant. At the same time, Kim was pregnant with twins. So she was like, nigga, you ain't gonna have the whole world pregnant at once. So she's like, I'm getting away from you. You're a greaseball, right? So she's gonna leave him. Then Cassie just comes around Then he moves Cassie to Wilshire. So she like, damn, nigga, you done moved out here through me, and you done moved out here too. And I'm trying to get away from you.
Additionally, once they learn that Los Angeles is a fantastic area to receive treatment, many people relocate there. Attendees at his events claim to have caught something. Cassie is now fleeing from one particular guy. Man, she's evading.
The 16th, the thing that I really want to know is, I'm sure we all want to know. One, you're unalive a man and you didn't like her, and 2 days prior, or a few days prior, it was a big argument in your house, and 2 days later, this is what happened. Somebody please explain this to me. Somebody please explain this to me. I mean, because when you got pneumonia and you got money, guess what you can do?
You can get rid of it.
Yeah. You don't have pneumonia. Right? Pneumonia, usually, I thought pneumonia had something to do, like a lot of people who had a virus, one of those viruses, we won't say the virus, they usually be pneumonia, would take them out. Pneumonia, right? Mucus buildup.
Magic.
Mucus is the #1 killer of people. For people don't know it. And so mucus buildup.
Thank you, Mark. I see that almost every day.
That's right. Gotta keep that stuff right. So then you look at pneumonia and you look at the things that come, the underlying things that come with it. You be like, wow, this gotta be a little bit deeper. You know. Plus, a lot of people move to Los Angeles once they find out certain things, because Los Angeles is a great place to be to get treated. People went to his parties and said they caught something. You know, there's one dude right now, Cassie running from him right now.
She avoiding the lawsuit.
Man, she doing the TK. She doing TK like a motherfucker. She running.
Do you think she should have been charged as a co-conspirator?
I ain't never understand none of they charges, because I'd be like, damn, I used to do the same shit. You know, so I say never put my hand on no women, but I bought some girls, I bought some stuff before. I bought some coochie. For that shit. Even in a regular relationship, you don't even know it. You buying it. You buying it regardless.
You paying for it either way.
Paying for it any way it goes. So I could never say he's wrong for anything like that. But the only thing I say wrong for is just not knowing when to put a cap on that shit, man. It's enough is enough. You know what I'm saying? Because if this up right here, like when you get to the point to where you be like, I enjoy it, urinating on females. You be like, what's
sick?
Is that? You sick. That means you enjoy humiliating people. Same way you wanted me to put on a little clothes and go to the rock.
Damn.
The lawsuit. She's doing the TK. Huh? She's performing TK. Like, hey, you get it? She's on the run.